Hello everyone. This is a video demonstration of the completed version of the Jungle Park program. You'll have to implement two different set of functionalities to add tigers and deers to your jungle park. Let me demonstrate the keyboard functionalities first. When you press the T key on your keyboard, that should add a new tiger to your jungle park. You should be able to move your mouse pointer over to the newly added tiger, left click on it, and move the tiger anywhere around within the jungle park area. Observe that the label associated with the first tiger is going to be TGR1, where the 1 indicates the fact that this is the very first tiger added to the current execution of this jungle park program. When you try to left click on the tiger, you'll notice that the image of the tiger jumps a little bit in such a way that the center of the tiger's image matches with the mouse X and Y position. For instance, if I try to left click near the tiger's ear, observe that the image of the tiger jumps to my mouse X and Y location. This is a normal functionality as part of the draw method. You do not have to worry about changing this functionality. Let me demonstrate what happens when I press capital T on my keyboard. That's going to add a new tiger to the jungle park. The new tiger is going to have the label as TGR2. If I press D key on my keyboard, that's going to add the very first deer, which has the label as DR1. Pressing capital D on my keyboard is going to add the second deer. Observe that the second deer got added very close to the location of Tiger 2. Because of that reason, the second deer is displaying the threat message on top of the deer image. Whenever a deer is very close to a tiger, it's going to display the threat message. You can left click on the deer and move the deer far away from that particular tiger in order to remove the threat message display. Let me try moving deer 1 closer to one of the tigers. Observe that we are getting the threat message on deer 1. Just like how the tiger image will jump when I make a selection of that particular tiger, the deer image will also jump when I make a selection of that particular deer. For example, if I left click near the deer's tail, that's going to make the deer jump in such a way that the center of the deer image matches with my mouse X and Y positions. It could be possible that when you add a new deer, the random location at which that particular deer gets added is very close to an existing tiger. If that is the case, just as the deer is being added to the jungle park, the tiger could hop on that deer and eat it. Similar functionality is expected when you add a new tiger to your jungle park as well. If the tiger's random X and Y location is close by existing deers, that particular tiger could hop on existing deers and eat those deers. Let me demonstrate the remove functionality, which is supposed to be covered by the keyboard key R or capital R. When you have your mouse pointer in an area which does not have any animal, and if you press the R key on your keyboard, nothing is supposed to happen. The same is true for capital R key on your keyboard. As you can see, my mouse pointer is not on top of any animal. So if I press R or capital R right now on my keyboard, nothing is supposed to happen. In a similar way, when you move your mouse pointer over to any of the buttons on the top left corner and press the R key or capital R key, that should not remove those buttons, and that's going to be true for all three buttons over here. But if you have your mouse on top of one of the animals, that's going to remove that particular animal. When you have your mouse pointer over top of multiple animals, the first matching animal is going to be removed. For instance, if I have my mouse pointer on top of this deer and press the R key, observe that particular deer got removed. In a similar way, if I move my mouse pointer over to the second tiger, and press capital R key, that particular tiger is going to get removed. Now if I try to add a new deer, that's going to have the number associated in its label as DR3. That's because we do not renumber the deers based on the removed deers. In a similar way, if I add a new tiger now, observe that the random location of the newly added tiger was very close to the two existing deers. So this particular tiger hopped on those two deers and ate those two deers. Going back to what I was trying to tell with respect to the remove, even though there is no tiger 2 because we removed it, the newly added tiger is going to have the label as tiger 3. That's because we use static variables within the tiger class and the deer class in order to keep track of the current numbering for the new tiger and the new deer. So you do not have to worry about the fact that you will not be having certain labels within your jungle park whenever you delete those tigers or those deers. Observe that whenever a tiger eats a deer, you're going to get a new count display on top of the tiger. This particular tiger ate two existing deers, so it's going to have the display number as 2, as opposed to that tiger 1 did not eat any deers, so it does not have any label associated on top of that particular tiger image. Let me demonstrate the buttons. When you click on the add tiger button, that should add a new tiger to your jungle park. Observe that TGR4 got added. And whenever you move your mouse pointer over to a button, the display of that particular button needs to change in such a way that that button gets highlighted with a darker gray color. When I move my mouse pointer over to the add deer button, that's going to get highlighted with the dark gray color. And when I click on that, that's going to add a new deer. Observe that the new deer random XY location is very close to TGR4. So the threat message is being displayed on top of the deer. If it is too close enough, then TGR4 would have automatically hopped on to that particular deer and eaten that deer. Let me add more deers in order to display the chain effect of a tiger eating a bunch of deers which are close by. Let me add many deers. Observe that as I keep adding new deers, tiger 1 was close to one of the deer's random XY location and it got to hop on that deer and eat that particular deer. Let me add some more deers, and I'm going to demonstrate the threat message appearing and disappearing one more time. If you move the deer close to a particular tiger, that's going to display the threat message, and if you move the deer far away from all of the tigers, it's not going to display the threat message. Let me line up few deers over here in order to demonstrate the functionality where a tiger ends up eating multiple deers. I'm just going to accumulate few deers here. Let me go ahead and move tiger 4 closer to this particular area. Observe that as I keep moving tiger 4 closer to these set of deer images, we get a series of threat messages displayed on top of the deers. Let me go ahead and move the deer images around a little bit so that you'll be able to see the threat messages more clearly. I'm just going to arrange the deers in such a way that the top of the deers are more visible. Let me go ahead and move tiger 1 away so that we get rid of the threat message. Looks like the threat message for deer 6 is coming from tiger 4 itself. So as I keep moving tiger 4 closer to these set of deers, observe that the threat message keeps getting displayed on multiple such deers. And if I move the tiger close to one of the deers, it could be possible that the tiger can hop on to all of the deers and eat all of them. Observe that tiger 4 ate all 7 of the tigers. It had already eaten one of the deers way down here. It could be possible that half of those set of deers are closer to that particular tiger and only those get eaten by that tiger. This is part of normal functionality of the tiger hopping on to a bunch of deers. You cannot really control how many deers that particular tiger eats. You do not have to worry about that part. Let me try and add more deers so that I can possibly demonstrate a tiger eating half of the set of deers. Let me once again form a pack of those deers. Do you call it a pack? I don't know what the term for that is. Give me a second. I'm just going to move these deers around in such a way that there are two sets of deers instead of just one set. Observe that if I move the tiger close by in between both of these groups of deers, both the groups of deers are displaying the threat message depending on the proximity to that particular tiger. Let's say that I get close to the left side group of deers. Observe that the tiger now only ate some of them and it wasn't able to eat a couple of deers. Again, that's normal functionality, not something that you can control. The last button that I want to demonstrate is the clear park button. When you click on that, that's going to remove all of the tigers and all of the deers from the jungle park. Notice that the clear park button does not clear the buttons from the jungle park. You should still have the add tiger, add deer, and the clear park buttons. So now if I go ahead and add a new tiger and a deer, that's still going to have the numbering from the previous numbering because we are still within the current execution of this jungle park program. That's why when I added a new tiger, we got the label associated with the tiger as TGR5, and the second tiger had the label associated as TGR6. As you keep adding more and more deers and tigers to your park, you'll observe the fact that when you add a new deer or a tiger, it could be possible that it gets automatically eaten by an existing tiger. Notice that now TGR6 got to eat the brand new deer that I just added. That functionality is going to happen when you add a tiger as well. Observe that TGR9, when it got added, the random XY location was too close to a deer and it directly hopped onto it and ate one of the existing tigers. If you're on a Mac, do not press this red close button to close this particular application. Instead, right click on the Java applet application that's getting displayed on your dock, and you should be able to left click on quit. That will make sure that you do not get any exceptions when you quit your Jungle Park applet application within your Mac laptop. That will be it for this demonstration video.